Hey guys, Lucas Hendricks here from the Waterford Drift again, back for my second podcast about the March Madness, and I'm kind of here to recap the second round and predictions for what's going on in the next round. We've had some crazy upsets, some teams like Dayton, a Cinderella team, and Stanford. It's been a great bracket so far, and kind of to recap the first round, a lot of picks that everyone expected, Villanova, Florida, Arizona, all those 1 seeds and 2 seeds winning, except for Mercer over Duke, which was a crazy game and a crazy upset. And I could not believe it. No one else, not even Mercer, picked Mercer to win this game. And this is the definition of March Madness right here, a team like that. Really coming out of nowhere and beating a strong powerhouse team known for basketball like Duke. Kind of great to see that, And if you did some research, you'd know that Mercer was the team that eliminated Florida Gulf Coast from March Madness this year, eliminated them from getting into March Madness. So obviously Mercer had a pretty good team that no one really knew about. Some other surprises: Stanford going on, beating New Mexico and beating Kansas. Great, 2 upsets in a row. There's 2 great wins right there for them. And Dayton, both 2 great games against Ohio State and Syracuse, which was a really good game, I thought. Probably the best game in the tournament so far, that Dayton and Syracuse game. Baylor being in the Sweet 16, that's a surprise to me after I thought Creighton would beat them. Not a lot of other surprises besides Connecticut and Tennessee. Both 2 teams that are good. They didn't play the season as well as they wanted to, but, them being in the position where they want to be now, obviously. But my predictions for next round, I'm going to start in the South bracket. We have Florida against UCLA. And this is going to be a good game. UCLA playing strong all season, only 8 losses on the season. But I think Florida's got the best shot coming out of the South bracket, with Dayton and Stanford being the only remaining teams if they beat UCLA, which I think they will. But the Dayton and Stanford game is the one everyone's going to be talking about. We have an 11 seed and a 10 seed playing each other, which is actually really rare. Kind of cool to see two double-digit seed teams, one going to the Elite Eight for sure. And I think Dayton can do it, The answer is why not? Why can't Dayton do it? They've done everything so far, They've stopped Syracuse's shooting. They've stopped Aaron Craft with Ohio State. I don't see why they can't beat it. Stanford right here. Stanford's rolling, but Dayton's got more momentum for sure. And in the East bracket, it's Virginia against Michigan State. And I think State has the momentum right now. They finished the season well. 2 really good games in a row against Delaware and Harvard. Virginia had a tougher matchup against Memphis, and they prevailed. You may have an argument saying they have more momentum going into this game, but I believe Michigan State and Tom Izzo are going to be ones coming out of that game. And at the bottom of the East bracket, Iowa State and Connecticut. And Iowa State just played a great game on who I had winning it all, North Carolina. And UConn obviously had to play great to beat a tough team like Villanova. I think UConn can do it. Shabazz Napier, great player. That's what UConn needs, is him to step up like he has been. And if he does that, UConn's got the win in the bag, I think. So going over to the West bracket, Arizona and San Diego State. I think Arizona's going to win this one just because, I really think they showed themselves to be the best team in the bracket in the first 2 rounds. Just completely obliterating both teams. Maybe not the strongest competition, but they definitely played to their full potential in both games against Gonzaga and Weber State. But San Diego State, they didn't really have too much hard matchup either. North Dakota State, good team, showed that against Oklahoma, and New Mexico State, also a decent team. I really think this one's going to be neck and neck, Both in the same area, too. That's interesting. And it's played in Anaheim. The Western Final will be. That's all the same area. You wonder, no really home court advantage. That's going to be interesting. So Baylor and Wisconsin at the bottom of the West bracket. Baylor's been playing really strong. The game against Creighton, I feel like Creighton beat themselves more than Baylor beat Creighton, though. So that's why I have Wisconsin winning this game. They showed they have the game against Oregon was a real challenge, and they showed they were able to prevail, make some clutch plays, some shots. They knocked down shots. That's what they're good at. That's why they're a 2 seed. So, and the last part of the bracket, the Midwest, probably very most interesting one so far. Wichita State getting beat by Kentucky last night. That was crazy. And I think Kentucky has a lot of momentum going right now. I think they have the best chance at beating Louisville. Really, I don't see if Louisville wins, I think they're going all the way because once they start going, they can't be stopped. But I think Kentucky can stop them here, and that's what I think will happen. And Tennessee and Michigan, this game, kind of like a toss-up, I'd say. Tennessee playing great ball, but Michigan always playing great ball. Michigan, I have winning this one. So my Elite 8 would be Florida, Dayton, Michigan State, Connecticut, Arizona, Wisconsin, Kentucky, and Michigan. Really not what I had in the beginning of the bracket, but that's just what March Madness is about. Lucas Hendricks from the Waterford Drift. Thanks for listening.